What's up, everybody? Clinton Fauché here, and
I'm Albert Chavez.
And this is Front Porch Chronicles. And this week, I'm super stoked. We have on Bubba, Badman Tings Jenkins. Super stoked. Thank you, brother, for taking the time out of your day to come on. We appreciate it.
No doubt, man. I was excited about the interview. I've been prepping for a while, so Shorty was like, "Hey, we got some good questions for you. It may take a little bit, but I might send them your way." And I was like, "You know what? I'm gonna just get my mind right as far as and we gonna see. I'm gonna keep it real fresh. I ain't looked at the questions, but my mind has been excited for this interview. So this all gonna be spitball for me.
Let's go.
Super dope. I appreciate it. Yeah, I talked to Rafinha. Like I said, I talked to Rafinha earlier. And he was super stoked about you being on. He was like, he's such a good guy. So it was good to get you on.
Yeah, thank you so much for stopping in. We know you're a huge foodie, so we kind of wanted to dive into that a little bit too. We see some of your awesome edits and going in and just introducing some local cuisine and stuff like that too. So me and Clinton were kind of wondering right before, we're trying to go to Vegas very, very soon and go see some of the other fighters and stuff like that too. Maybe catch a fight if you are fighting during that time. So if there's one spot that you would want us to try next time we're there, what is on your mind?
Well, you want tacos. Hold on. He's trying to.
Yeah, I'm looking for my taco spot. We're blessed down here we're blessed in Southern California. So is there like a bomb taco spot, or at least give me some good enchiladas so I can feel a little bit at home?
Chino's. If you're going to go with the taco spot, Chino's is a good spot to go to. They got a lot of different things. Me and my boy Bullet, he's got a lot of love for Chino's over there. So shout out to him. Shout out to all the foodies in Vegas, because this is a big market and they don't close shops out here. They just pop up in other places. So it's awesome to see. But yeah, Chino's. I'm not a big taco man because I gotta stay somewhat in control. Right now, I'm a little happy. If you can see my cheeks right now, I'm a little happy. But I'm about to get started running and whatnot again. But it's a part of the influence base out here. You got to find a niche because there's so much going on. And my love for food and how I make weight and how I transition through different things like that was just an easy niche for me to just continue being in. But Aztec, they got a very good Aztec burger at Chino's. So if you come through and y'all go over there, make sure you tell them Badman sent you and try that Aztec burger, because it's got everything on it.
Got you. So look, okay, I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm from Montgomery, Alabama, so I gotta have soul food. I'm not, I love being in Southern California. They got tacos and stuff like that. I need a good soul food spot. I'm from the backwoods. I need collard greens. I need fried chicken. I need the good food. So where's the best soul food in Vegas?
Okay, there's a spot. Shorty's from Virginia too, so this is a big love for me. I got love for this one because I'm from Virginia. But Pretty Little Kitchen is a dope little soulful spot over there. I think there's another one called the Pink Potato. Something like that, but but if you were really looking for it, it's got everything from smothered chicken to cornbread to Pretty Little Kitchen. That's the one.
That's what I'm trying to see. They don't understand about that. That's one thing I do miss about home is the food.
And the Chinese buffets.
The Chinese buffet, but I'm a collard green guy, so I gotta have. In the South, we say she put her feet in them things.
She put her feet in that one.
Oh yes, sir. That's on the list.
Taste buds. There's a mix of like Creole, Cajun / soul food. You gotta holler at Taste Buds. Auntie over there, she be getting it in.
Oh,
so, that sounds so good.
Tell them I sent you if you go.
I got you.
Trust me.
Look
at my Instagram.
We're gonna drag you.
To Vegas, look at my Instagram and pick a spot, because
we definitely gonna put the link in the bio for your Instagram. I love it. I every time I see you, I'm like, ooh, Badman Tings, and you got all the good restaurants. I'm like, man, I gained about 10 pounds just watching.
You got it. I dropped some stuff in Philly. The Philly one, I just had this shrimp, lobster, Philly steak and cheese.
Ooh. I didn't know they did that.
Slap your mama good, it
exactly.
sounds like.
Exactly. That's exactly what I thought when I was eating. I was just like, I didn't even know they did this. It was everything. But nah, it's a big part of my newfound Batman things. It's a part of it.
That sounds good. So when you're done with weight cuts, where do you go every single time like that you have to get that fix when you're like, damn, dude, I haven't eaten in a while?
It's not, I don't go anywhere until after the fight. So even after the weight cut, you still got one more day to keep it locked in. That's a lot of rookie mistakes. People get the weight cut done and then mess up their whole camp by doing some nonsense later on that day.
And then get in the cage, breathing all hard, sounding like Baby D.
Lopsided belly with fluid on one side and nonsense on the other side and a bunch of grease. And just all the things they thought about and wanted while they was thinking about cutting weight, they got that day. You got another day to lock in, maybe another day after that to just let your body adjust. To it. And then I'm going somewhere where they put some crab legs in a bag, dog.
Oh,
they got to put it in a bag, put the butter on it, put the lemon garlic. Let me
shake it up. I like it. Shake it up. Let's go.
But if I'm taking that same bag to my uncle's house, he's gonna put it on the grill for me. So so I'm some smoked crab legs. I don't know if y'all,
That sounds so good.
That's Batman things right there. Y'all ain't ready for all the recipes for that disaster.
So I love it. So again, taking it back a little bit more. So where are you originally from? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I'm from Virginia.
Nice.
I'm from Virginia. My bloodline is Ghanaian. So on my mother and my father's side, I am Ghanaian. So
what part of Virginia?
Batman things I represent a Ghanaian base. My father died in Ghana. I still have uncles and family over there. I'm dealing with people out there. So Ghana is a part of me being, of course, I was German born, so I was in Germany, but of course, me being an American-based, American influence, having a bloodline that runs through such a rich part of Ghana, such a strong nation, such a strong place. It's a part that I'm not only attached to, but as my father passed when I was young and I was 9, I always thought, what was there that my father was after? What was there that, brought him there? And as I gotten older and had my time to visit and deal with some kings and some powerful dignitaries out there, it has been not only a great building place for me to learn about self, but it has been a great aspect of just another part of my life.
Wow, that's awesome. So have you traveled there and back? It sounds like you've been traveling there at least a handful of times to go back to Ghana every now and then. Yeah,
absolutely. My next trip, I'm actually, because I got a little time off, I got get some work done on my arm. I got a little time to try to go out there and cement some things because I'm working on some big moves. I gotta get some guys here. You know what I'm saying? I got some guys in Jenkins under the flag, under the BK MMA flag.
Let me ask you a question. What part of Virginia are you from?
Virginia Beach.
Oh, okay. I have one of my good friends from college was from Norfolk.
Okay,
I went to
Norfolk's right down the street.
So
I'm a mix of the streets of Virginia, Norfolk based, the hoods, and just the community of that rich history of being the northernest southern state and being almost out but still being in. Like, I'm a part of that, but I'm also part of that Virginia Beach style of Virginia where it's like there's a melting pot. There's a lot of the rich white folks and the well and off black folks. I mean, it's a great community mix of, that's why you get the Pharrell Williams who put on the Clips brothers. You get a mix of Pharrell being who he is with the skateboards and things like that. His mom was my first librarian. His mom was the first lady that gave me my first book to read. So, the Pharrell Williams, Virginia Beach, I wouldn't say, I would just say it was a melting pot of different cultures, no matter what skin color you were. And that's what I would say. So many people try to put me in a category of who I am. And I'm just me. I got a lot of different cultures involved in one little area.
That's my friend went to Booker T. Washington. His name, shout out Winfred Thomas.
Yeah, shout out Booker T.
We went to school together at Alabama State. And when he was there, it was a whole different vibe because I went to a HBCU. So you have people from Detroit, you have people from Miami. It's a melting pot of all of, and then he was from Virginia Beach. So it was like there wasn't a lot of people from the VA there. So people were trying to figure out because it's a whole different vibe and whole different style.
You know a brother from Miami. You know a man from Cali. You can see a dude from Detroit. You check a brother from Virginia. It's like I don't really I don't know your type yet. I gotta watch you a little bit.
True story. So we know you've had an iconic wrestling career at Penn State and Arizona State, beating Lance Palmer, Jordan Burroughs, which is insane, by the way. When we were looking up, I was like, I was telling Albert, I was like, he beat Jordan Burroughs. He was like, really? Like, yeah, shook. So what
Burroughs,
age?
Taylor. It's a whole 10 to 11 national champions.
Resume. I got it. Levels to the game. So
it's thick, it's long. It makes me smile as I've been away from the mat so long. It just every now and then, and I don't bring it up, but it's just the people bring it up. Highlights happen. David Taylor just got the head coaching job. Jordan Burroughs is still who he is. My name often gets brought up, and they say, you die after the last person says your name. So I'll likely live forever because it's a legendary thing we've done.
I love it. What age did you start wrestling?
9. My father passed away when I was 9. I hadn't seen him since I was 5, so he was in Ghana that whole time, gold mining. He would come back, and when he passed, I had basically started my MMA career early. I got in fight after fight after fight, 13 straight fights after about 2 weeks. So my mom, my dad was one of 11. My mom is one of 9. So I got quite a number of aunts, but I got a good number of uncles that are just like, let me grab them. Let me get my hands on them, And they decided that I should go into wrestling. My father was a wrestler, 2-time state champion for Indiana. So wrestling was a natural niche. I wasn't
in the bloodline.
Even though my name was Bubba and I was a 12-pound baby, I wasn't 6'3". I still ain't. So, it wasn't like they were like, oh, let's just put him in football. They put my little angry ass in wrestling, and I took off. That was, putting a fish in water, throwing a bird in the air when it's finally ready to fly. That put me on the map, sparked everything. I mean, crushed a lot of dreams for a lot of other people out there. Broke some bones for some out there. But for me, it changed lives for me.
It sounds like it naturally was like your calling, and so you did this in high school, and then you went to Penn State first, and then you ended up going to Arizona State, winning the national title. How did that prepare you in that transition from wrestling to MMA?
Yeah, it taught me how to have the best understanding of trials and tribulations, have the best understanding of seasons, ebbs and flows, highs being high and lows being low, but not meditating too long in those states, right? After the big win, you got to get, they're expecting big things from you. So you got to get on a good foot to get to the next level, right? New level, new devil, right? But after a big loss, you can't stay too stuck. You can't crash out after a loss, because you ain't gonna never get up. And the bottom is, a lonely, cold place. Ain't nobody want to talk to a loser when they're cold at the bottom, right? So you got to find your fastest way to get back up on that good horse or get back into who you are, especially if you're not a loser. I've been a winner. There's times where I have lost. I'm a natural known winner, but losing comes with the reaching for greatness, right? It's a part of success. Failure isn't that opposite that everyone thinks that it is. It's just ebbs and trials and tribulations and flows that you have to learn how to balance. And the people who have surfed those balances the best, they might not have been the richest, but they're definitely some of the greatest minds that you've ever heard speak. They're some of the greatest people that you've ever heard represent the people that they're representing, and the things that they're doing are touched when they're gold.
Ooh, bro. Right. We got to get you a job as a pastor next, because you're dropping that knowledge. Woo!
Take them to church.
Man, you got me over here like, woo! Ooh, take them to church. Good Lord, dropping bombs.
I speak in tweetable quotes.
Bro, that new level, new devil, grenade. Boom. That was next level.
I don't know when I drop gems, so I just run through
them. Yes. Okay, so let me ask you a question. So once you got done with wrestling and graduated, what age or how long did it take you to decide that you wanted to transition into MMA? What age did you do that?
I went to Arizona State to transition to MMA.
Oh, okay.
I was looking because, I'm always next step guy. Arizona, me and Penn State were having our issues. I had a cousin, Brian Stiff, a national finalist, Virginia Beach Cox boy, cousin, basically my cousin. My mom and his mom are basically great best friends, right?
Yeah.
Rest her soul. He was my mentor, and he was the Bubba Jenkins before Bubba Jenkins. He was who I was after as far as all the pin records, all the takedown records, all of the style and the Allen Iverson, Michael Vick flow. That was, the Stith brothers. I was watching the Stith brothers in the national finals. I mean, in the national finals when I was in high school. So, and in middle school, I was watching them in the high school national finals. I was watching him win senior nationals. So to see greatness like that so close, it was nothing for me to just, okay, boom, I'm up on my level of greatness. This is what I'm doing. I'm taking it up another level. And Brian Stiff was always there watching me. Chris Stiff was always on the phone with Corey Williams, who is Pharrell Williams' first cousin, who Corey Williams' mom and Pharrell Williams' mom are blood sisters, like sisters. And so I have that family and that representation of Virginia Beach that are saying, no, we ain't gonna let this one slip through the cracks. Always had someone supporting, always had someone there, always had someone, telling me, hey, we're watching and helping you. So when Penn State started acting funny with the scholarship money, they was like, yo, why don't you come get you a tan in Arizona State? Well, why don't you come mess with these Sun Devils? First of all, we ain't got a lot of things like they got, a lot of rules and regulations that Penn State may have for a brother such as yourself. We got a lot more freedoms. Not only that, we got this one-legged kid named Anthony Robles that's starting to set the things on fire. We could use a voice like yourself because he's a great example. And we put you two together, roll out the red carpets, give you the captain of the ship. You know what I'm saying? We might have a little, a top 5 pin here. You know what I'm saying? And then I went on my recruiting visit to Phoenix and Scottsdale. Oh.
Where do I sign? Where do I sign?
Man, listen, I still got some issues going to those areas. Listen,
yeah.
But it was a great understanding of my new transition. Like we said, there's ebbs and flows, there's trials and tribulations. I was at the peak at Penn State. I had a situation at Penn State that was great. I was a national finalist. I was the captain of the Penn State wrestling team. And that all got transitioned into something else to where, one season dies, another one opens up. You got to go into that cocoon, that dark place. When I was released from Penn State, I went dark, as quickly as we got to pop up and get to that next point. Some of those devastating losses knock the taste out your mouth. Some of those things you can't sleep, eat, speak, or tweet. You know what I'm saying? You can't do nothing, right? So that's that dark cocoon place. But after I got out of there and the sunrise and that Phoenix, I came out like a butterfly, like a Phoenix butterfly. I was in there rising and doing my thing. I lost my first couple matches and then went on to win nationals to where I understood life is about those ebb and flows. You gotta roll with those punches and be able to be able to understand things like that.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing too, is like, especially at that age too, because you're probably 20, like late 20s or early 20s, right? 21, 22, right? At that age.
When, then?
Yeah, then. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So being able I graduated at 23.
Yeah, so being at that age too and like knowing like, hey dude, I'm at the top of my game. Like you said, you were captain of Penn State, which is insane, one of the best programs ever to like have in wrestling, and then go across the country and say like, okay, I have to recreate who I am, but still be me, right? That's amazing to go through, especially at a young age. And that inspires so many people because you have to be yourself.
Self-reflecting.
Right.
Because there was a lot of self-blame. There was a lot of, why did Kel not want me? There's a lot of, that's Kel Sanderson. There, Man, they went on to win nationals that year. I mean, I pinned the Golden Boy in that tournament. That's neither here nor there. That's another story for another interview. But what I'm saying is, it wasn't just an easy, okay, well, forget you. I'm going to go kick it with my cousin. It was like, man, what was that about? So the self-reflecting that it took to be true to myself, to not lie to myself, to self-analyze, to really understand what I was going through and what I did wrong was another reason and more reasons to why I became the national champion and still, at the level that I am today. It's the mindset that I knocked myself off and I knocked the dust off my shoulder and said, okay, I'm going to self-reflect. It's not everyone's fault. It's not always someone else's blame. There was a lot to go around in the blame pie, but when it comes to why I needed to be better, I didn't win because I needed to be fueled because he released me. I won because I corrected the things that, were my falls in that time.
And sometimes it takes a lot of courage at that age to recreate yourself and not point fingers at other people and everybody else, because at the end of the day, pointing fingers, and it could be somebody else's fault, but at the end of the day, we're dealt certain circumstances, and we can either lay down and die, or we can pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and say, hey, I'm not going to let the world beat me down. I'm going to recreate and come out a stronger individual. So at that age, to have that mindset, that's next level.
So share us a little bit. You said you went to Arizona State to transition into MMA. When did you start to become an amateur and turn into a professional career?
Well, it was completely focusing on being being a national champion. When I went out there, it was to be in that, but it was to immerse myself in the background of them that went from college to the MMA world. I knew that there was a much bigger fighting scene on the West Coast than there was in any place in Pennsylvania. Maybe not so now, but they were just having the small little Lionheart, MMA thing. Phil Davis was on the come up in that, and he was my recruiting visit on my host. So he was a big mentor and big friend and good guy to me as I was there. But I knew that Arizona State had a big following of MMA fighters that transitioned, and things that I can learn to just being around Phoenix that other MMA school areas would not allow. The West Coast is still the wild, wild West, and the MMA scene and being able to do smokers. I didn't do any of those things, but to be able to have that influence and be able to go to those and meet Uriah Faber and be a part of those things were paramount while I was still in college.
Yeah, I agree. So what was your family's reaction whenever you finally let them know that you were going to transition into an MMA career?
My mom didn't want me to. Mom didn't want me to. She knew I was a good athlete, and I'm different. She knew what she birthed. She birthed greatness. Every year we celebrate. But she knew that I had an opportunity to go with Nate Parker. Nate Parker being the movie star that he is, the producer, film producer that he is, filmmaker. He and I had grown to have a good relationship after I was competing for Mike Novogratz in New York for a different charity event, and me and him grew a great relationship. Him being a Virginia guy, then going to Penn State, then getting in some trouble, going to Oklahoma, but then having all of these amazing career highlights on the movie screens with Gladiator, or not Gladiator, but with Red Tails and Glory Boys, and just different things like that with Denzel Washington. I had the opportunity for him to take me under his wing and, go to, basically to Hollywood and try that transition of life to being a working movie star under an already star, but someone who's now have so much in production and different things like that. And that it's never far away, but also that's not something that I wanted to do, as I was still in the heart of competing and had just won the national championship and was looking to heighten my clout on the fact that I was now the man. I was now number one in the nation in front of so many and under so many eyes to so many people.
So does your mom watch your fights now?
Oh, she's at every one of them. She's at every one of them.
She quickly changed her mind.
Oh yeah, she knows the deal. She didn't allow us in there with the bad man thing. She know I'll whip something up. You know, she's very understanding that, you know, if I was starting to get, you know, dumbfounded and really, you know, I couldn't speak well, and I had a slow understanding of life, she would be the first person to be like, hey, listen, you got children, you got, you know, but the fact that I am still as sharp as I've ever been and still, you know, very high, fighting at a very high level when it comes to my athletic ability, my condition, my mental, it's all there. So she's just like, listen, as long as these wheels don't fall off, we ride.
That's right. So I was curious, what advice for someone that is just starting in their career, someone that is anticipating it? We've seen a big rise in MMA and specifically in other martial arts. What advice would you give to someone for wanting to pursue a career in MMA?
Yeah, you got to endure. The best ability is availability. You can do a bunch of different other things, and there are going to be some ways that you think are right, and there's going to be some people that tell you this is the way it's going to be, and you're going to show up and it's not going to be that way. There are going to be some surprises that are they're going to floor you. There are going to be some things that you believe that are not going to be some truths to it. You just have to endure. You're going to be the red corner, your music's going to play, and everybody's going to walk out, and you're going to have your thing, and they make you the blue corner, and they play a different song, and they don't let you walk out with none of your homeboys. You got to be able to
exactly. That is the greatest way I have ever heard somebody put it. That is the truth. There is nothing that is like going to, you have to be willing to endure chaos, because at times it is straight up.
You got to be able to endure them talking that trash about you during contract time, saying you didn't do this, you shouldn't have done that. When you know you've been a company man, you got to be 100% be able to endure walking your bag through the airports and having a little kid kick your bag and be like, F you, let's go for the other guy. You got to be able to not catch a charge right there. You got to be able to endure. You know, the one thing you got to do is endure, son. Whatever you do, it's like, it's almost like I had a moment with the Lord where it was like, man, I'm struggling with having to continue to knock myself. I'm tired of having to be the big man. I'm tired of being around so many small people. And it was like, he grabbed me by my shirt, and it was almost like, I don't ask you to do nothing but to endure. And it was like, that's the only advice I'll ever give anyone. I'm reliable because I know that I have to endure. Yeah, you can say that about me. You can say all these things. I bet you I'll be back on that track running, right foot in front of the left foot. I'm gonna be here, and I'm gonna be able to out endure all the criticism, all that trash talking, all the people that said that I couldn't do this, all the Wade banter, and all the stuff that was ever negative. I've been able to just wrap it up, shake it off, understand the mindset has to shift, endure it, and then move forward.
Yeah. See, that's what you need right there. You need that mindset, or else if not, then you're just going to do it for all the Instagram likes. You're just going to do it just for the clout or whatever. But if you just know you're going to have to deal with it every single day, that's what it really takes to get to that next level. And I love hearing that from you.
You can have a shotgun body with a BB gun mind, and you're only going to have paper cut effects. That's a fact. If you got a BB gun mind, it don't matter if you got a shotgun body.
It matters nothing. I tell people all the time, Albert's gotten into MMA over the past year or so, and I tell him all the time, people think, they look and they're like, oh, this dude is yoked, this guy. Man, it matters nothing. It is the fight game is so mental. It is so mental. It's almost like a psychologist rather than a fighter in most ways.
It's fragile. It's fragile. And that's how you know, like, that's the point of the face-off. That's the point of the pre-fight interviews and the fighter square-off interviews. It's to see if they can, with all the stress on the line, with him saying he gonna do that to him, with him saying the opposite, who's actually going to be able to physically do it with all the mind games that is there. When you look into someone else's eyes and you know that they are mentally either not there or physically not ready, or that's when you see all of that mind work. You got to, that's when you know it's 90% mental, because I don't look into a diesel man and knew he was a bitch. You know what I mean?
Thank you. Same thing. I'll look at people sometimes and I'll be like, and Albert will be like, oh, this, I'm like, dude, that guy ain't about that life. And I'm from the side. I'm from the
some Jack men, and I'm like, he ain't got it. He gonna need 3 of him.
Thank you. I'm from the hood in Montgomery, Alabama. When I moved out here to California, they are not confrontational, and I'm the most friendly Southern nice dude in the world. But I'll also go 0 to Chris Brown. Don't let this Southern accent and this mullet fool you, because it can get ugly quick. And I've seen people, they'll be like, they'll see this and they'll be like, oh, what? Yeah. And then once I click, they cry. Oh no, I didn't mean that. Oh, okay, I thought you didn't mean that, because it was gonna be bad.
That's why a lot of us real fighters, a lot of us real people, we keep this personable, lovable personality, because that switch is ugly. We don't even like being on that side of the world.
Not even red rum. I call it the red rum. When I go red rum, don't just move out the way and let things be what they're gonna be.
Somebody said something.
Thank you. Yes.
So we know you're out in Vegas training with some of the best of the best. Can you tell us a little bit about what fight team you're currently with and how that's impacted you?
Yeah, so I'm with BK MMA with Dewey Cooper. We have our own little spot, man. Me, Timmy Kawamba, and honestly, Dewey brings in a lot of guys to highlight what we got going on. We got some young guys coming up, but I like a one-on-one tutoring like class. There are some syndicate extremes out here, some different gyms, but a lot of those gyms, one, you have opponents that you possibly could fight later in life, but also you have a lot of direct. It's just coaching, but it's direct. It's indirect. Hey, everybody, this is what we're doing today. I like that one-on-one mentorship. I like that tutoringship. I like it to come in. I like to come in and be able to dissect and be able to ask questions. Yes, I need some bodies, but I've never been a guy that needed 5 or 6 different people to come in the room. Me and Timmy Kawamba is my main training partner. He made the UFC. And, when we need tall guys, we bring in tall. When we need short, thick wrestlers, we bring them in. We pretty much highlight the camp for who we need. And that's really why it's been successful for me. We've been able to put our sparring on main stages where you manufacture what it feels like on fight night. We're not sparring with there's 30 dudes in the room and, you can get away with bullshit and nonsense and just different things like that. We're sparring with a very thin microscope on your eyes, with Coach Dewey over your shoulder, making sure that you're bringing your punches back and your cardio is good and your different things are highlighting. That way you go into fight night feeling phenomenal.
It's always crazy to me because I see these bigger teams, and no knock to the bigger teams. We've got guys that are friends that train at all the different gyms. I'm just speaking for me. I have the same mindset like you. I can't, we had Cody Durden last week. He was fighting a teammate from ATT. And I'm the type of person, once I fight you, I can't disassociate that. So we can't, and I definitely leading up to a fight, I don't want to be training in the same gym or same area, because for me, again,
if you're making a mistake, if you're making flaws, they're watching it, or their boys are telling people, or the coaches are telling them because they got a better friendship with you. Or
see,
there's a lot of politics going on.
And besides that red rum, once I get a fight, to me, you're an op. And so there ain't nothing leading up to that fight, into that fight. The whole thing I'm thinking, for me, my mindset always has been, I'm thinking you're trying to ravage my family. That's what in my mind, that's where I go to. Because in the essence,
so that's the biggest thing. Your thing is you're op when you get a fight. My biggest thing is they're op till we fight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? After we fight, then I know who you are. We have a fight and it's a drag out, boom. We know we don't settle there. You go that way, I go that way, we grown men. But I don't like that friendly, fake. Oh, let's just grapple and nah, all y'all is op. I ain't showing y'all.
Thank you. See, I'm the same way.
Y'all gonna know I got 73-inch reach when you feel it. You're gonna know I'm strong as I am when I grab you. You don't need to see all that now.
Thank you.
That close to friends. I ain't about to give no secrets away. We're not that close to friends.
Same. I couldn't do it, but to each their own. What's a typical day for you with training?
Training. So today is Wednesday. We would have did Power Day, which is we run at the UNLV track, whichever Dewey has, or Big David Hayes is the assistant coach, which is his nephew. So we either, hit the track with particular workouts, whether it's run the straights, do the curves, or time this, time that. It's a good push. But we go from there to the gym and we do these things called the power drill, where you're on the bag for probably about 10 rounds, and some of the rounds is 30 on. 20 off, 10 seconds on, just different intervals of all power. This is a day where you don't come in and you don't think. You just power punch it out, and you do the quick punches, then you do the powerful punches, go top, body, and then afterwards we do offense and defense, probably about 20-25 minutes of 1 minute on, 1 minute a defensive guy, 1 minute an offensive guy, and that's where you get the I ain't trying to give all the secrets away. Do it here in this interview. He'd be like, "Damn, you telling her everything."
See what happened was,
but it's a day where you just kind of get out of the mundane of either a wrestling practice. You just run and get your conditioning up. There ain't nobody competing with you on run other than the clock and yourself, right? If you're pushing it. And then on the power days and on the power punches, when you're punching fast enough or powerful enough. That is the day where that's yourself. You can't teach yourself. That's
versus me.
I love one of those days during like my last 4 or 5 weeks of camp, because it gets my weight off. I put some good sweats on or some plastics on, and that's a day where nobody say nothing to me. Nobody's expecting me to show nothing. It's just a day where every man to themselves. The runs are a good tough run. The power day, the offense and defense. Sometimes guys, you hit them a little too hard. When you're on defense, they start to hit you back. You get those turn into a little bit of a sparring kind of session after. So it's like it's a no thinking day, but it's all love. It's all work. It's all chopped. Usually that's the day where even the small little guys lose 5 or 6 pounds. I usually put it weigh 10, 11 pounds on a day like that. So, that's a typical Wednesday of Power Day.
Yeah, it's always crazy to me. I explain to people, because people have in their mind that fighters just show up and they fight. Man, you got paid a lot of money and you only fought for 10 minutes. People don't realize that you guys train 8, 10, 12 hours a day, then you break down film. There's so many levels to the game.
After that, I'm going, if I have a fight, after that, I'm going home watching a little bit of YouTube of my fighter, watching a little bit of YouTube of my last fight. Depends on what I'm getting ready for. If I'm just coming off a fight, I don't want to watch UFC. I don't want to watch Bellator. If I'm just coming off a fight, I want to get far as I possibly can away from anything talking about punching somebody. I just want to be lovable. I want to see my babies, my children. I want to go to the club, hang out. I want to drink a little bit, get off my diet a little bit. I want to let my hair down, because when we go into zero dark 100 0, and when it's kill time, it's still Team 6. We shut down all communications, all diet. We don't get sugar, salts, sweets. We don't get sex. We don't get it's a lot of you gotta hunker down, and somebody got to get this work. Somebody got to get this work. So it's a different mindset that you go through when you're in when you're preparing for fights, you know, and then when you got a guys who signed a contract, you know, like then I'll go get some running in later that day, and then get some fitness, a hot tub session, a yoga session, maybe some stretching. I'll have a massage therapist come through, and then, you know, some small body weight things like that to keep me toned, to just keep the body. I mean, depending on different days of the week, some days for sparring, you want to do all that extra running at night and little yoga or cold tubs, but you can't get out the bed, or you got a little bit of knick-knack, so you got to go do some, you know, therapy, rehab, and some physical therapy, some things like that. The fight camps change. Usually you have a good 8 to 12 fight camp. You know, some of the younger guys, they're, you know, 3 weeks, 1 week notice to, you know, the younger guys. But I'm a vet. You ain't about to call me on Tuesday and tell me we're going to fight on Friday. It ain't about to happen, you know. So there's things that you do during the fight camp to just prepare yourself all the way through. But it's a process and a half.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. How do you balance with all of that? How do you balance that as well as being a father? Because these are the things that, you know, it's hard to be able to balance all of these things. How do you balance being a father, training, and just having a regular life?
Man, supplements, prayer,
caffeine,
right? You know, so my children come half times with me, and then they're half in Oregon, Salem, Oregon. I have three babies, and so I get them for like the spring, the summer, all the fun times where they just ain't got nothing but time on their hand. Like, what we doing next? That's when I get them, you know. And sometimes that's during fight camp. Sometimes it's not, you know. And I cherish the times where I have to put on that father hat, you know, because as serious as I get when I put on that bad man hat and that fighter hat, I get as serious when I put on that father hat. There's some times where I analyze myself and I say, okay, you're being a little too strict. You know, I got young black children, so I got to make sure that they know this. They know not to play with guns outside. We got a bunch of little Nerf guns. Okay, y'all can't do this. I got to prepare my young children. I got 2 boys and a baby girl. I got to prepare, and my baby girl is gorgeous, right? So I got to prepare my children for the things that, you know, hey, he just talking crazy. He just talking trash, baby. I you know, there are things that a black father does differently than any other type of father, but a thing that a father does differently than any other type of person, and that is strictly upon me. And as a biblical man, I glorify in that. I praise the Lord in that duty that He's given me, with understanding who they are to me. I've been assigned to them. I mean, they look like me, act like me. They're different parts of me. My oldest son is me during fight camp. So real high strung, it will snap at anyone for any reason. And then my youngest, that's me just all the time. You know, he's carefree. What we doing? I don't know where I woke up at. Where we at right now? You know, it's just a good time. And then I just have a love for being a father, influencing a lot of other people. I've always had a good coaching mentorship on people, and I've always had a good mentorship since my father died. So I've had that love for the fatherhood aspect of it even before I was a father. So that just is heightened 10 times more with them, with their blood running through my veins as well. So yeah, man, it's a balancing act, but it's not one that is very difficult because you cherish it. And when you start to cherish it, you really start to, you know, put the phone away and look at the times that you're spending. And last night, I'll show you guys right now. Last night,
that's a huge puzzle.
Working there, like, oh, Daddy. I was like, all right, we got an interview. Y'all got to get up out of here. I got to put a hat on. Oh, Daddy, we're on. I just picked new interview time. Y'all got to get going. So it really is just a loving, non-stop act of knowing that there are a lot of people who want this problem and don't get it.
It's a privilege.
It is. I'm the same. So I've got 5 kids. So I feel you in kind of the same mindset. For me, I had a very bad father. So my father was never kind of involved. So similar to you, for me, in that aspect, being a father is very important to me. And it's always funny to see how different people take fatherhood and why they are the way they are. And I'm kind of similar to you. I'm very cognitive because I hang with fighters and I hang with, and once I started to heal and going to therapy and stuff like that and seeing, it allowed me to see with my kids, like you said, hey, I'm being a little bit too strict. Hey, because sometimes when we go through tough times and we grew up in the hood or we grew, yeah, we think a different way. So we want to protect them from the things that we had to go through and the things that we had to see. And sometimes we put too much of a handcuff on them. So to hear you say that is super dope, because I'm the same way. My oldest daughter is biracial black. So I've got one black child, one white, and then 3 Mexicans. And so I always laugh because people all the time. So similar to you, like for me, my oldest daughter is biracial. So, you know, I have to explain to her kind of similar to, you know, I can't give her the black experience, but I can kind of explain to her as a biracial woman, and kind of God punished me in a way because he gave me a beautiful daughter. And so she looks like a model. And, you know, I'm brutally honest. I kind of wish she had a lazy eye or a slur to her speech or something, but she's very beautiful. And so like, I have to teach her like, hey, these are the things you have to be careful. And some of those things that you explained, we have to teach when you have biracial kids, or if you have, you know, children that are, you know, of color, like you have to explain to them, hey, you have to be very cautious and careful, because the world is a difficult place to navigate. And we got to give them those tools so that they can be successful. And it also helps us with our blood pressure.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting with that too, because I'm not a father yet, and so I like to listen to a lot of his lessons too. And what you guys have to go through as fighters and managing, you know, some of them are parents, some of them aren't, and then everything in between. I just commend you guys for taking ownership and like knowing that you guys have to be that hyper focused. But when it's time to take off the fighter cap and you put on the dad hat, it's just a different thing. You just are so focused and get so engaged with your kids. And that's just awesome to see, because then they're going to learn from that too.
My world's blend. You know, my children know how to train. They know how to fight. They know how to do a little wrestling. My son, I was in Philly commentating for the TCL the other day, and my son texted me on his tablet, which I didn't know he could do. And he said, he was like, I found you on TikTok. And I was like, who is this? He was like, oh, it's your son. And I found an account that said Bubba Jenkins on TikTok. And I was like, I just opened that last week. He's like, well, I found the YouTube of your podcast. And I was like, it's starting to blend, and it's starting to become what you're doing. So like my representation of who I am and me fighting and things like that, even my children are starting to see that. You know, they're starting to see who I am, the bad man. And you know, that's a part of fatherhood. That's my career. I go out there with an understanding. I can't put no bullshit on tape or on wax, because my son gonna see it on YouTube, or his boy gonna show him on at recess. And you know, hey, is this your dad getting waxed? You know what I'm saying? You know, there are different things that, you know, as a father and a fighter, that, you know, and as you're growing, yeah, they're small. You know, you shouldn't worry about that. But there are some things that we grow into that are different than other generations and different than other times. You know, your father never had to worry about getting his ass whooped and then getting your son and you getting it seen by, you know, your homie at school. Now that's a thing that you have to think about, and that's a thing that is prevalent. So you go out there with the mindset to train, to put everything on the line, to put all of the good tape out there, because, you know, these little kids is devilish out here.
So I was curious, when you actually are getting ready for a fight, it's fight week. Is there a pre-fight routine that you like to do either the week of or day of the fight?
Oh yeah, the whole week is pre-fight. We're cutting out salt, sugars, all that type of stuff. What else would we do? A little bit of fight days, slow jams, and a lot of breathing. You know, we're a lot of seeing the fight, seeing the moves in your head, going through the combinations that you've been practicing on, queuing on and flinching randomly throughout the day, randomly flinching, you know, just thinking about it, but flinching on the mistakes they make. And on the cues that you've been, once he does this, I'm gonna do that. During all the fight camp, you're like, once he, So during fight day, you're breathing, of course, because you're not trying to stay intense all day. But every now and then, as you're breathing, you're just, I constantly just stay in that like, woo, you better not. I know it's 12 o'clock. I know it's 1 o'clock, and we don't fight till 9 tonight, but. Hey, there's somebody come off this elevator. They gonna catch 5 of these before I even know what's up. So it's just get you in that mindset. I like to breathe a lot. I like to make sure that anytime that I'm doing those flinching or I'm doing those different things, and my heart rate gets up, and I start that stinking thinking by Bubba Jenkins. That's what my therapist used to say. No stinking thinking, Jenkins. You start thinking. But once my palms start sweating a little bit and my heart rate starts getting up, and I don't got hit, and I don't spend 10 seconds of a daydream tensed up, then let me breathe. That because a lot of rookies they'll spend the whole fight day being
clenched up.
Yeah, clenched up, and it's natural because you don't said you got to do what you're gonna do tonight to a dude that said you wasn't gonna do it to him, right? It's got to be an understanding that okay, but you got to stay relaxed, you got to stay cool, you got to stay calm, and throughout that day, you're listening to that Bob Marley, those reggae songs, those slow R&B jams from the '80s, back in the days that I used to love. My brother was an oldies music guy, so I listened to some oldies just to make me laugh. I'm constantly cracking jokes and looking for funny different things that are happening during throughout the day. Of course they want you to meet at 4:30 for the bus. You don't fight till 9, so they want you at the arena for 5.5 hours. So it's like, little silly, stupid stuff like that. You don't stub your toe walking to the bathroom, trying to check your weight at 4 o'clock in the morning. You gotta endure that stuff. You gotta be breathing. You gotta stay calm, stay relaxed. I listen to a lot of saxophone, jazz music, R&B things, and it's a process of just honing yourself to be in your ebb and flow.
Yeah,
that's nice, relaxing, getting you ready for the fight. You got to get. Yeah. You can't be
because it's all work. When that cage like it ain't saxophone music.
No sir, no sir.
There are times where it needs to be. Don't get me wrong. There are times where he's playing that rock and roll, and you're like, oh shit, hold up. I need some jazz to play. Play me some jazz. Change the song.
Next song.
He's hitting you with that heavy metal, and you're like, oh no, I need some lullabies. There are times during the fight where you gotta switch the beat and switch the tone that's going on. But throughout the day, if you can have it your way, you're mentally preparing for that ass whooping.
Definitely. Let me ask you this: what's the biggest lesson that you've learned about yourself from MMA?
That I ain't no bitch.
anybody that gets in that cage, definitely.
Yeah, no, the one thing that I've learned is that I'm resilient as they come. And I have not always been told the truth. I have not always been supported. I have not always been backed, and I'm still here. I have not always been given the fair shake. I have fought. I have many fights with a lot of behind the scenes things going against me. Not only with victories but with L's. And I take it on the chin. I wear these scars on my face with pride. I let my nose hang like it's hanging, just so I let you know, like I'm a dog. It's gonna be a lot to take me out. So that's what I've learned. It's in me, ain't on me.
Anyone that wants to willingly go through weight cuts, put your body through rigorous training, not just once, but every single day, you're definitely not a bitch. There's no stuff like the fact that you would willingly want to go in the cage and your life is pretty much on the line, and then your family's watching you too. No shot. You're gonna learn so much about yourself.
I'd like to correct that statement only because, listen, I have seen some men and some warriors turn into bitches now. Then that weight cut gets hard. Them last 4 pounds. That warrior, I don't see some tough dudes quit I ain't never quit like that.
Feminine real quick. I'm telling you. I tell people
quit like that.
I tell
people who are warriors that tap in certain tappable, understandable position. What MMA has taught me, there's some warriors that done that, but I ain't done that. There's some real dudes that have done it, but I ain't done it. There's some guys that ain't, but there's some people that have. But this one right here, stand on my shield. I might not. They ain't cut like me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, all right, we're gonna kind of lighten it up right quick. We're gonna have rapid fire questions here. We're gonna ask a series of questions. We're gonna put you on the clock. Whatever comes to your mind first, which I know that it won't take long. Whatever pops in your mind first, let me know.
Okay.
You're on the clock. Who was your favorite fighter growing up?
John Jones and Uriah Faber. They were my favorite.
Oh, the California kid.
Yes, sir.
Uriah Faber got me 5 tickets. I was in Phoenix, Arizona. He got me 5 tickets to the Benson Henderson Pettis fight, and that was the fight where I had a situation. I was in a nice seat in Phoenix, Arizona, as the man in Arizona State, and I had a situation going on. And the highlight of the night was Pettis running up the fence and kicking homie in the face. That national highlight. So it was
legendary.
Uriah Faber became one of my favorite fighters because of that night and because of that championship.
That's epic. That's epic. All right, Bubba Jenkins, what is your favorite travel destination?
Ghana. Gotta put them on there. I don't mind going to the Middle East when I like Bahrain and Dubai, but Singapore is up there too. I love being in Singapore. I had a beautiful time in Singapore, but because I just talked about Ghana and loving Ghana and doing business, let's go with Ghana.
All right. What is your biggest pet peeve?
Inefficiency.
Ooh. Yes. And liars?
Yes. Of course, everyone hates liars, but I think more so inefficient people. And inefficient situations, and in it when you see a situation, you're like, why did you go that way? I think I get more upset. Like I do a lot of children. My babies lie to me all the time, right? But I probably get more on them. I probably get more upset when I see them go grab one shoe and then not grab the other shoe. And then like, what are we doing? why are you grabbing one Lego at a time? I get more upset with everyday life when I don't see efficient things happen. I'm an octopus with a bunch of arms. I like efficiency, and that's probably one of the biggest pet peeves. I can't stand lack of efficiency.
Yeah, I respect that. For sure. What is your favorite cheat meal?
Crab leg with lobster and the butter and the shrimp with the garlic and the heat and the grill. Yeah.
I ain't ate today. Either, bro. You got me over here.
Where you live at?
In Cali, SoCal.
Southern California.
Oh, there's a couple places. You live in a good area.
Yeah.
You live in a good place. You can do everything.
That's where I'm going as soon as we get out of here. I was gonna go home. I was gonna go home and eat my chicken and rice and veggies, but I'm going to eat crab legs now. Jangling. What is your hidden talent?
I wouldn't say it's hidden. Wow, that's hard. I have a way with words, so I'm a decent rapper. I can rap really well.
I was gonna say that's got to be in there.
Yeah, I can rap. I can carry a tune. I can't say I'm a singer, but I can carry a tune. I was put in the choir when I was little, so Auntie made sure I ain't missed
some
that
range
note on Sunday. You know what I'm saying? But my ability to coach, man, I can coach my ass off. I don't turn some scrubs into studs and some buds and better, you know. So to be real with you, it's one of those. That's probably not my way with words is not hidden because I commentate and I got a couple songs out when I'm with my children or when I'm with my friends and they play a beat that everyone's like, oh, who is this? And I'll just randomly just start flowing and cracking everybody up, you know, just because I'm a funny rapper when it's just, I don't be trying to be serious. I ain't no rapper scrapper. I just have a way with words, you know what I mean?
The wordsmith.
So I'll just have a good time. But my ability to coach and see a situation, analyze it, and break it down. That's a real talent of mine. That I'm like, listen, when all this shit's said and done, you know, if I don't start getting some rings with this coaching gig, it's politics.
What is your favorite song?
Favorite song.
Only one, bro. Only one. I can see you already getting ready to pull 2, 3 out. One. You get one.
You can only get one song. Man, it's gonna be something from Lil Wayne. It's gonna be something from Lil Wayne.
Which one?
Man. Live from the 504 is going down like a crazy bunch with no ropes. Even in the dungeon, I glow. Ain't about money, I go nowhere. I'm nailed to the flow. Money controls where I go. It is the cell to my boat. It's going down like there's a well in my boat. And you can smell that I smoke. Yes, I sip. See, listen.
Wheezy.
Lil Wayne is
Wheezy. Does not get enough respect. Weezy gets not enough respect in my eyes. I see all of these lists all the time, and they're like, "Oh, top 10 rappers of all time."
They just be forgetting because he's untouchable.
He hasn't posted.
Lacking. They are lacking because easily Weezy should be up there. One of my favorite too. So
So that Lil Wayne track is probably my favorite.
Who's your favorite actor or actress?
Denzel Washington.
Which Denzel? Training Day or Training Day? Training
Day mixed with Eli.
Ooh,
that's a good one.
I like,
and the fact that his son is touching stuff now too. That's a testament to how great he is. You know what I'm saying?
Like, I'm still, hold on. I'm stuck in what you said when you said Training Day mixed with Eli. Ooh, that was next level right there.
To go back, you got to watch Eli twice to know he's blind.
I've watched it about 43 times. I love that movie.
So going off on that same rabbit hole, what is your favorite TV show or movie?
Man, I gotta go just because he's genius. I gotta go with Martin Lawrence and the Martin Show. What he did on
that's
that,
a good one.
What he did on that, how he put so many different black artists on at that different time, how it was epic. I mean, laughter upon laughter. Yeah, Will Smith was doing it his way and whatever. Martin Lawrence,
not like he was Martin. The Martin Lawrence show,
had many
next level.
Dave Chappelle had characters. Before Chappelle did what Chappelle did, and Chappelle is up there in my top shows. Before Chappelle did what Chappelle, he had Shanae and all the rest of them.
I was just fixing to say Shanae.
Man, and the karate dude with the man. Stop. Martin Lawrence was a genius in that time, before its time.
Way before his time.
Network.
Way before his time. Legendary. Way before his time. I agree.
Yep.
So, last one. If there was a zombie invasion,
yes,
what one fighter would you want on your team?
John Jones.
Oh, that was too easy.
My man's got dogs for days. He got dogs. All his dogs are trained. My man stay at the shooting range.
I was gonna say.
He's wealthy. He's got big ass wealthy brothers. Right, both his brothers is Super Bowl
offensive and defensive line.
Right,
offensive and defensive line.
They automatically getting a call. If I call him, they getting a call. So that's automatically an extra 2 that I'm bringing.
That's the gang right there. Gang.
And he got guns. He's a big dude. Plus, if it goes to the hand-to-hand combat, we straight.
And reach.
He's known from New York to Vegas. So there's some underground New York spots. There's some underground Vegas. We got to go underground. I'm sure he know a couple of different avenues. Listen, I don't thought about this. The shit ain't good out there in the politics. We looking ghetto out here with our politics. What we got here in America is looking very, very child supportish. They don't know who they gonna get a baby to. You know what I'm saying? I don't thought about this a couple times. I don't use text Johnny Bones like, hey, y'all good? That shooting range look good.
Look, bro,
we were talking.
They were talking on Twitter the other day. We were talking about, I can't remember who it was, and we were talking about the thing with president. And I'm like, bro, what kind of madness are we in right now that we got? Look, before Biden pulled out, I said we got a narcissistic dude running against a guy with clear dementia, and we're trying to fight each other on who's what. Well, how is it? Why are we not arguing
Kanye
about
when you need him?
Thank you.
Where happened to the Kanye vote? Because that's looking real good right now. You know what I'm saying? Where this brothers?
Thank you.
You picked the wrong time, Kanye.
I thought it was supposed to be Kanye 2024. Where is this at?
Started mathing off a little bit too much.
At this point in time, he better put me in, coach.
It was just too soon for him. All right, gentlemen, this was awesome. I appreciate really rapping with you, man. This has been really dope, man. And anytime y'all want to do this again, y'all gotta hit me up because I had a good time.
We're gonna hit you with one last question.
Yeah.
If today was your last day, what is it you want Bubba Badman Teen Jenkins to be remembered for?
To be a man of Christ.
That's a good one.
To be a servant of the Most High God.
That's all it takes, man. Is just being in character.
If I don't be known
being
for
yourself,
nothing else, at least let y'all know I got plans for the afterlife. I got the upper room.
Jangling. We appreciate you so much for taking time out of your day to come on. I had already told Albert before we even met, I said, when I go out to Vegas, I know who I gotta hang with, Bubba Badman Teens. So we're gonna hit you up when we get up there and go catch some food. We appreciate you, brother, and take it easy.
Enjoy the time with the kids.
Absolutely. Y'all let me know when y'all come out. Give me a heads up. I'll send the chef and we're gonna be on. Let's do it.
Yes, sir. Let's go.